Hello, I'm David Kerr and you're watching Shalom World News. Here's your latest news headlines from around the globe. Young Catholics across France have been protesting against their government's decision to ban public masses under the pretext of fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. On Sunday, hundreds gathered in the city of Nantes to pray the rosary and sing hymns, undeterred by the inclement weather. Similar scenes were witnessed in the capital city of Paris, outside the historic Church of Saint-Sulpice. French President Emmanuel Macron imposed a new month-long lockdown upon the French people starting on October the 30th. That's France's second national COVID-19 lockdown. Among the measures introduced, churches can remain open for private prayer, but public masses are banned. In response, 6 Catholic university students have created this online petition asking President Macron to reverse his decision. It's already attracted over 100,000 signatures. In an open letter to the French President, the young Catholics describe Holy Mass as an essential service, adding that, quote, "We refuse to let fear win. We want to pass on this living heritage. We want to make our faith live." The national lockdown in France is due to end on December the 1st. The Holy Bible could soon be deemed illegal in Scotland under proposed new hate crime legislation. That's a stark warning from the lobby group the Christian Institute, delivered in evidence given to the Scottish Parliament's Justice Committee on November the 12th. The Christian charity notes that the draft legislation presently would authorise the police to confiscate and dispose of, quote, inflammatory material, which they say could include sermons by Christian ministers and also Christian books such as the Bible, if they are deemed to be, quote, abusive or hateful on a range of social issues, including homosexuality and transgenderism. The Hate Crime and Public Order Scotland Bill was introduced into the Scottish Parliament in April of this year by the governing centre-left Scottish National Party. At present, hate crime laws in Scotland cover only incitement of racial hatred, but under the new proposals this would be extended to apply to crimes committed on the basis of someone's age, disability, religion, sexual orientation and transgender identity. China continues to be the most restrictive government on the planet when it comes to religious liberty. That's the finding of new research published by the US-based think tank, the Pew Research Institute. On November the 10th, they published their annual Government Restrictions Index, or GRI, which ranks countries according to how restrictive their governments are when it comes to religious freedom. Out of the 198 countries and territories contained within the study, China is top of the list with a GRI score of 9.3 out of 10. The GRI rankings were first published in 2010. The latest figures take in the year 2018, which Pew found to contain the decade's highest global median level of government restrictions on religion. The figures also suggest that when it comes to religious liberty, authoritarian governments are the worst offenders, while the Middle East and North Africa were the worst regions. Meanwhile, religious liberty in the United States is also under increasing threat. That's the warning from the Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito. In a keynote address to the annual National Lawyers Convention of the Federalist Society, Justice Alito suggested that, quote, "For many today, religious liberty is not a cherished freedom." He pointed to the case of the Little Sisters of the Poor, the female religious order who had to fight the US Department of Health and Human Services in the courts for 7 years in order to avoid a federal mandate requiring them to provide free artificial contraception as part of employees' health insurance plans. Justice Alito suggested that religious liberty is now in danger of becoming, quote, a second-class right. Samuel Alito was appointed to the US Supreme Court in 2005, becoming only the 11th Catholic to serve on the court. Staying in the US, and the Catholic bishops of Massachusetts have spoken out against plans to reduce the age at which a young woman can seek an abortion without consent from 18 to 16. The proposal is contained within an amendment to the state's annual budget process, which is currently making its way through the state legislature. The 3 bishops of the New England state suggest that the proposed amendment would deprive a 16 or 17-year-old girl of the guidance and support of an adult while making, quote, a life-changing decision. The bishops also point out that the proposed amendment would permit abortionists to not use life-supporting equipment if a child in the womb happens to be born alive. Hence, the bishops are now urging lawmakers in Massachusetts not to pass the amendment in question. There were more than 500 hate crimes against Christians in Europe last year. That's according to new figures published by the Organisation for Security and Cooperation in Europe, the world's largest security-orientated intergovernmental organisation. They found that France recorded the most hate crimes against Christians in 2019, with a total of 144 incidents. Meanwhile, there were 81 incidents in Germany, 75 in Spain, and 70 in Italy. 77% of all those attacks were against property, while 14% were violent attacks against people. The new information was published on November the 16th, which is International Day for Tolerance. Finally, the worst kind of poverty is a poverty of love. That was the message of Pope Francis on Sunday, November the 15th, as he celebrated Holy Mass at St. Peter's Basilica in Rome to mark the World Day of the Poor. During his homily, the Holy Father said that, quote, "The poor guarantee us an eternal income because," he said, "the poor help us to become rich in love. It is this love that is our true wealth," he said, "a wealth that cannot fade, unlike the success, power and money offered by the world." Pope Francis concluded by reminding all present of our obligation to reach out to those who are most in need. Well, that's all for now. Do join me next time for some more news from across the globe. Until then, may God bless you. Shalom.